it's Muriel from Costa Rica, and Costa Rica for families and Costa Rica to live in 2020 with children. That is exactly what I will be talking about in my today's video, especially highlighting the factor that I'm talking about how it looks like in 2020 after a lot of changes in the world due to the pandemic, right? So I moved to Costa Rica in 2018 with my two growing up children, and besides the fact that Costa Rica is awesome for families in general to visit for vacationing, you probably already know that, right? I wanted to highlight the aspect of living in Costa Rica, especially how does that work with schools right now, because the pandemic has had a big effect on schools as well, and it's still, all the schools are affected by it. Lots of schools are still closed or temporarily open, and yeah, that's what I will be covering to share in a nutshell the changes we have been going through ourselves with the two children. While I'm sitting at the beach shooting this video, I also always have to pay attention to my dog, or my other dog, my two dogs, what's going on. So hey, before I dive into the content of today, I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by tapping on the icon you see here on the screen and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I upload a new adventure, and that might contain useful tips and advice and information that you could need in the near future if you're looking forward to visit Costa Rica or even move to Costa Rica. My channel is dedicated to share everything I have learned myself living here as an expat, and yeah, it's my mission to share everything I have learned. So I will never say I know everything, because I'm learning every day. So let's dive right into schools, expat schools, right? So let me tell you how we got started living here as expats with our children. That time our son was 8 and our daughter was 14. And what did we do? Well, we enrolled them in an international school, bilingual, Spanish-English, which was was a bigger school, not really big, but it was not like a small town local school. It was an expat school, so they could learn Spanish and English, and also it was very nature environmental oriented, which we really find important. And yeah, that was a great start for their journeys here. So they got to know lots of their today's friends, and I met a lot of people as well, because the communities of the connected to the international schools are really in general helping newcomers as expats in Costa Rica to settle in, and yeah, that did it for us. But when the pandemic hit Costa Rica as well, and the world in general, the schools had to close, and in general the price of our international school it's a private school type of price. So we did pay. A lot of people ask me, what's the price of your international school? Well, first of all, we took them out of the school for several reasons. I will touch on that in a bit, and we enrolled them in an online school, and I will tell you about it in a bit. So Costa Rica for families, you want to watch my video to the end if you're specifically interested in options for schools, and I tell you everything about it right now actually. So we paid more or less around $450 to $500 for our international school for each of our children, right? Hold on. So yes, for that international school, we paid more or less $1,000 per month, and that included food, and it excluded transportation. So there was a school bus, so we paid more or less $1,100, $1,150 for food during their day, and they were picked up by the school bus at 7:30, and they were brought back home around 4, right? Between 3:30 and 4. So the school ended at 3 and it started at 8. So that was how their school lives and our family lives basically look like, right? The kids left for school with the school bus, spent there basically around 8 hours, and were brought back. That allowed us, Dirk and I, as you might know, we work 100% online. We did a couple of hours of work, worked a little bit on our property, and then the kids came home, and that all changed with COVID. So their school went online, which was not a success for us. This school specifically did not really, it's hard for schools to adjust, right? So we just decided to stop that school, which was originally, of course, not specialized in teaching online. So we took them out, took a month of search time, and then thank goodness we found an online school, and that is still the school that they're both doing. It's a 100% online school for children all around the world, for children who live on ships, for children who live in the jungle, for children who just benefit more from, you know, doing just 2 to 3 hours intensive school per day, and then have time to do other things like top sports or whatsoever. So this is created for lots of different types of children and families, and we found out that it's not just a great option for, you know, for us as a family living in Costa Rica temporarily with the pandemic, with the schools temporarily closed or opening part-time, or we just found out it fits our lifestyle pretty good because we work already fully online, and we are able to close our laptops, take a little holiday, and now we can also bring our kids. And with the expat school, we had to also ask permission. Of course, there's rules and regulation. We could not just take our kids, you know, and go on a short family travel, but now that's possible. So Costa Rica for families, according to school, there are people who now enrolled their kids to local schools. There is lots of local schools, Tico schools. I'm not saying they're bad, but it is handy that your child already knows Spanish, because in general it's taught in Spanish there. My kids are not fluent Spanish. My daughter actually is, but my son has dyslexia. He mastered to learn English. So an expat, a local school here in town was not an option for him. Although we found out that, I will let you know the name of the online school. It's called IVLA. It's an American online, 100% online school, established several years ago, has many success stories. I'm really happy with the school, especially because we found out that our child, our youngest, needs some special attention according to reading because he has dyslexia. That this works with the help of a tutoring teacher who we hire for a couple of hours per week on top of the online schooling. And since I'm working online myself anyways and home, we can really support him in his schoolwork, and it helps him to have more time off to play with kids, to go to clubs, to hang out with the dogs on our property, in the river, go to the beach. And that is actually why I wanted to shoot this video, because that was for us a major point of concern. What is there for schooling? Well, we came to Costa Rica as a family before the pandemic. We could rely on the international school. Right now, a lot of expats exited their international schools, and for us it was not solid enough how the schools would continue, and if they would make it, and what would be the quality of their teaching, since a lot of teachers had to be fired. So don't take me wrong, this is not an anti message, you know, for expat schools. I don't want to speak against expat schools. There's probably lots of expat schools who are still functioning really well, but our local expat school here, where our kids were going to, I am not sure. A lot of teachers were fired due to, you know, having not enough funds, which is of course very painful, but for us a reason to just sit down and think for the benefit of our kids. And both our kids thrive really well on the online school IVLA. So that was actually accidentally a discovery. And I would say if you want to move to Costa Rica and you're really curious about Costa Rica to live for families with children, then I cannot look in your family situation and how handy your kids are with having the independent space to, you know, to decide which hours per day they would want to work on their schoolwork. If you have the space, if you're there to support them, I would say online schooling is the best and safest options if your children are speaking English. There is IVLA, which is a success for us, but I think there's multiple options, but I didn't look into any others. This one was recommended by people I know, and it was right on the head of success, so I never looked any further. But this might help you if there was a missing puzzle piece for you when you were already planning to come to Costa Rica as a family with your children and you're looking for a temporarily or a full-time school. I would just go for the online option right now. That would be my choice right now if my children would speak and understand English. IVLA is a very good option. I'm not affiliate connected with IVLA at all, so you probably know that I am an affiliate marketer, and that's one of the biggest things I do online to generate my income 100% from home. By the way, how does that work? You can learn more about it in the first link in the description under my video, but that's not what this video is about, right? I just want to highlight this school because it helped us to continue our happy family life and actually happened to be a big success. Our oldest daughter, she's now 16, enrolled in IVLA as online platform to learn, is also really happy. She was actually already wishing for an online school, but we never allowed her because we thought it was not the right thing for her. But the pandemic actually forced us to be more flexible, and actually that this was the only option left, instead of going to a local school or to the original school where more than half of the teachers were gone and where kids have to wear masks and are exposed still to others. Well, now they can learn from the comfort of their own home or wherever they are. And our daughter, she has the freedom to, you know, she can take the bus to town and sit in a nice coffee shop, order some food and some drinks and do her homework, right? So that's a big piece of freedom. Also, for vaccination wise, I know schools in Costa Rica require specific vaccinations for kids. Well, I believe so far the school where my kids are part of now, they require vaccinations, funny enough, although it's online, but they never asked for the vaccination paperwork. So I know that could be one of the reasons for you to look into IVLA. I will add the link in the description below. Again, I'm not earning anything by referring people to IVLA, but I just want you to learn from what I have learned, right? That's my channel, what my channel is about. So with that being said, I wanted to stick to the topic school, and just, I've shared my recommendations, but I also wanted to share what other parents I know from the original expat school swapped their kids into. I don't know, that's a weird word. I don't know if that is normal English, but they didn't take. There's also another option, and that's this. Especially when you have residency or want to apply for residency, Costa Rica has rules and regulations strict according to schools, and they have to be part of a school that has been acknowledged as official school, and that is a local expats, that is a local school. So what did other students do, other parents do with their students of the expat school? They enroll them into local schools which are free, and that secured their residency, and that way a lot of parents also added the help of tutoring teachers to keep helping their children to learn, because the local schools, it's a different way of learning, and I will not say the quality is less, but it's different than the quality of the expat school they're all going to. So what we see with all the kids who are in the same class as our children. Some of them just stopped school temporarily. Some of them stayed at the same expat school. Some of them swapped to the same school as our kids are part of now, IVLA, online learning, or another type of learning education platform for kids, or enroll them in local schools. Yeah, we don't have residency yet, so we just decided to take the chance that the Costa Rica government, the moment that a residency will be approved, that they somehow accept IVLA, because of it's a great way in the pandemic that the existing school was not really the same anymore. But if necessary, we just can enroll them in a local school as well and just keep them registered there while they're learning actively in IVLA online. So there's multiple options for in Costa Rica for families, school-wise, and we're all still in search for the perfect way. Well, I think that we found the perfect way for our family. Other families are still in search. They have a temporarily tutoring only, and we're all gonna see what's happening with the schools, the international schools. I know near Tamarindo there are more international schools. I live at the peninsula, the Nicoya, right? It's a smaller community, and we just had 2 international schools, and there's less options, and right now they're functioning just 50%, and a lot of things change there. So I don't want to ramble on, but I just want you to do your own due diligence. But in a nutshell, Costa Rica for families, according to schools, I would recommend you to look into online learning and online schools if you're looking to move to Costa Rica like we did, because it gives you the most freedom to serve your kids with quality education. Because right now I don't dare to say what's the quality of the expat schools right now due to the pandemic. It's up to you to do diligence about that yourself. I do know that local Tico schools might be an option for Spanish-speaking children right now, or when your children are very young and they will grow into the Spanish. Of course, going to school is the best way to get to know other children. Well, what we do now is to help our youngest to facilitate that he's meeting with other kids. So there's kids camps, there's kids activities in Costa Rica, and that way he's meeting up with his old classmates and still continues having social contacts, because doing schoolwork online and from home is of course limited because they're not together, right? So yeah, that is one of the extra tips I want to give you if you choose for online schooling, homeschooling. Yeah, you have to facilitate bringing your kids from A to B to have them play with other kids, right? And that's working fine if you have the network, if you're just meeting other parents, go to community groups, know what's happening. Then it's easy to connect with other parents and just pendle, share vehicles, bring kids back and forth, and that's just what we do. So in a nutshell, Costa Rica for families, it's great. There's lots of tourist stuff to do. Of course, Costa Rica is beautiful, but expat wise, yes, there's options. Don't hesitate to just come to move to Costa Rica, because we are still here, we are still happy, and also school is covered. And yeah, I hope that my video helps you to continue your journey to Costa Rica. In what way, that's up to you, but let me know if my video was helpful. Give me your thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share my video with others if you think that they can benefit. And of course, click the first link in the description below if you're really curious about how Dirk and I work remotely and online and earn commissions online as affiliate marketers. The perfect economy proof way to generate an income and be an expat. Then hit the first link under my video. If you watch my video on your smartphone, you see a little triangle, just hit it and the text appears, and then the first link appears as well. You can also connect with me in the description under my video. Again, you see my messenger link and some other links to follow me on Instagram, my fan page, etc. With that being said, bye from Costa Rica, bye from this beautiful beach, And looking forward to see you in Costa Rica. Let me know when you're here because we can meet here on the beach. I would love to. Ciao!